The Demon Slayer Corps is the front lines of defense against the monsters of the anime Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba. Our beloved heroes Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke are among their numbers, but they are far from the group's most powerful members. The top 9 warriors of the Corps are called Hashira, which literally means pillars. The Hashira are the 9 overall most powerful members and combatants in the entirety of the Demon Slayer Corps, and often regarded as the most skilled swordsmen of all Demon Slayers, protecting them against more dangerous threats that cannot be handled by any other Demon Slayer. Therefore, their existence literally sustains the organization. The Hashira, in accordance with their great strength, are the highest ranking members in the organization, second only to the Corps leader Ubuyashiki Kagaya. Each Hashira possesses a distinct and unique breathing style, some of which are even created by themselves. If you are intrigued to know more about the strongest players in the Demon Slayer realm, well then this video is just for you. Hi, my name is Bozo Martin, and yes, if you couldn't tell from my voice, I'm an African anime lover, hence the name African Otaku. And in this video, we'll be going through a breakdown of all 9 Hashiras of the Demon Slayer Corps. We'll be starting off this list by talking about everyone's favorite Flame Hashira, Rengoku Kyojuro. Kyojuro is the Flame Hashira of the Demon Slayer Corps. His fiery red and yellow hair makes him instantly recognizable, and Rengoku has a passionate personality to match. Whether he is enthusiastically enjoying a bite of his dinner or fighting an upper rank demon, the Flame Hashira gives it his all. Kyojuro was greatly enthusiastic in regard to his duties as a Hashira, and often came across as cheerfully eccentric. He was also an honorable warrior who adhered to his code of morals and principles instilled into him by his mother at a young age. He absolutely detested demons but accepted Nezuko as a member of the Corps after seeing her risk her life to protect innocents. Kyojuro also loved his family immensely, displaying great respect and worry towards his father Shinjiro Rengoku. He, like most Demon Slayers, absolutely detests demons, usually because of their heinous deeds and because of their clashing morals. He avenged the death of 9 Demon Slayers that died to the Flute Demon all by himself, and later managed to single-handedly defeat lower rank 2 Hyro. Even Akaza, the 4th strongest known demons, praised his strength and offered to turn him into a demon so he could surpass his human limits and become stronger. Well, fortunately for us, he refused. But before he took his father's place, Kyojuro was already known to be an amazing fighter. Moreover, his father Shinjiro stated that after he stopped teaching his son, Kyojuro trained himself to become a Hashira by learning from the guidebook of the flame breathing style. As a Hashira, Kyojuro possessed tremendous speed and reflexes that even a trained and gifted demon slayer like Tanjiro couldn't perceive or register. He could easily move at speeds much faster than the eye can see, decapitating demons before they can even react. Most impressively, he managed to keep Akaza at bay despite having his vital spot being his solar plexus pierced by the upper rank's arm and bleeding out. Now next is the insect Hashira, Kocho Shinobu. Shinobu comes to Zenitsu's aid in the Natagumu Mountain story arc in Demon Slayer's first season. She displays a bright, friendly and cheerful demeanor, always having an easygoing smile on her face, regardless of the situation she is in. But don't let Shinobu's soft-spoken and gentle nature fool you. She is the insect Hashira and is just as deadly as any other pillar of the Demon Slayer Corps, and even way more sadistic. Her dulcet voice delivers devastating statements with sugary politeness. However, it is later revealed that her outwardly calm and tranquil disposition is worn as a mask, as Shinobu holds intense hatred for demons due to the loss of her sister Kanae at a young age along with the deaths of her parents. Her low tones hide her barely contained rage at the demons who killed her older sister. But that aside, Shinobu is the only sword wielder in the Demon Slayer Corps who lacks the physical strength to behead a demon. However, despite not possessing the physical strength to cut off a demon's head, Shinobu uses her creativity, ingenuity, and other physical abilities to more than make up for it. Instead of the traditional method of decapitating a demon with a Nichiren sword to kill them, Shinobu opts to use a modified version of a katana that acts as a stinger to inject lethal wisteria poison that is poisonous to the demons. Shinobu displays immense skill and mastery in medical and pharmaceutical fields to make up for her lack of natural born combat ability. She's highly knowledgeable about how to create various poisons using wisteria flowers. This is seen when she manages to undo the poison that is slowly transforming Zenitsu into a spider and restore him back to his previous human form. She even manages to create a poison strong enough to drastically weaken the second most powerful upper rank demon, Duma. Other than her intellect, she is extremely fast and agile, allowing her to overpower demons very quickly. Her true strength was revealed during her battle with Duma, where she was able to go toe to toe with the demon, even managing to overpower him slightly and receive praise from Duma. Next is the love-breathing Hashira, Kanroji Mitsuri. Mitsuri is the good-natured love Hashira. She feels strongly with every fiber of her being and often voices adoration for just about anyone she encounters. This is likely why she is called the Hashira of love. Mitsuri also has a special muscular composition, making her muscles 8 times denser than that of a regular human. She created the love breathing style herself based on her experience using flame breathing. The love Hashira is also an accomplished swordswoman who adapted Rengoku's rigorous flame breathing training into her own specialized technique of love breathing. Using this breathing style, she can unleash attacks that a normal katana wouldn't be able to accomplish. Her love breathing incorporates elements of her superhuman flexibility and her unique whip-like nurturing sword. Although she is rather shy and easily flustered, Mitsuri is always kind to others, most notably towards Obanai, whom she shares a very strong and unique bond with. She shares his hope that they would one day reincarnate and get married in another life. When she is slashed by Muzan and taken out of the battle by Obanai, she even begs for him to come back and not get himself killed. She also has a soft spot for the unconditional love and sibling bond between Tanjiro and Nezuko. Now next is Mitsuri's love interest, the serpent Hashira, Iguro Obanai. The pragmatic and harsh Obanai is the serpent Hashira. He's clearly identifiable by his different colored irises and white bandages covering his mouth, and he's often accompanied by a white-scaled snake named Kaburamaru. Obanai is one of the more guarded Hashiras due to his prickly exterior. However, he's just as driven as any of them to root out and destroy demons, and is indispensable in some of the series' biggest battles. Like Mitsuri, Obanai created his own sword technique. It was revealed that he was more or less blind in his right eye, meaning he ascended into the highest rank in the Demon Slayer Corps with only one functioning eye. His snake breathing style makes use of twists and turns similar to how a serpent slithers to attack in strange ways. Obanai also learned to incorporate his pet snake Kaburamaru into his breathing style. Kaburamaru possesses a unique ability which allows him to read and predict a target's attack and then relay that information to Obanai. The full extent of this technique is demonstrated in the final battle when Obanai is completely blinded by Muzan. Yet he could keep up with a weakened Muzan and even drive him into a corner. Obanai was able to land a great deal of hits on him, slashing off limbs and nearly beheading him over the course of the battle. Despite his merciless personality, there are two people he cares about deeply. First being Kagaya, their leader, and second being Mitsuri. Yes, he has a crush on Mitsuri, which most of their companions have detected, except for Tanjiro and Mitsuri herself. Obanai is also noted to possess an immense sense of self-loathing, due to the fact that he was born to a selfish and immoral clan who would mercilessly sacrifice even newborn children to a demon for their own monetary gain. Obanai considers himself and his family so tainted that years after they were killed, he still felt as if his family were digging their nails into his skin to make sure he couldn't go anywhere. He even goes as far as to believe that in order for him to ever be worthy of Mitsuri, he would first have to die and cleanse himself of his corrupted blood before confessing his feelings to her. However, Obanai eventually develops a soft spot and is able to let go of his childhood traumas. This is shown in the final battle when he is seen thanking Tanjiro for helping him and even later taking a blow for him, proving that Obanai was able to drop his initial grudges and become friendlier with people he was once rude and unfriendly to. Now next is the mist-breathing Hashira, Tokito Muichiro. Muichiro is a scatterbrained individual who appears to be constantly lost in thoughts and unable to concentrate on anything. He is impassive and at times obtuse. He thinks only for himself and operates solely on logic, never allowing emotions to guide him, making him appear completely apathetic and indifferent. But Tanjiro had the impression that Muichiro wasn't being deliberately apathetic because he didn't exude any animosity. Despite his uncaring and unserious demeanor, he has demonstrated the ability to become serious when necessary and takes his role as the Demon Slayer's Miss Hashira very seriously. However, prior to the death of his twin brother when the twins were 11, Muichiro's personality was that of a much more compassionate and optimistic individual, the polar opposite of his current disposition. He was shown to have a higher level of kindness and understanding, having taken after his father, believing he should aim to do good for others if he wanted good to be done for him. Michiro lost his memories after his brother was killed by a demon, and he carried an omnipresent rage deep within him that inevitably drove his future intense training. Michiro is a very powerful and skilled combatant. He is noted to be incredibly talented despite his young age, accomplishing his Hashira status after a mere 2 months of training, something only accomplished by Gyome Himejima, the strongest current generation's Hashira. As the Miss Hashira, Muichiro is the generation's most skilled misbreeding user. He has become so proficient with misbreeding that he created an entire other technique which played a pivotal role in defeating upper rank 5 Gyoko. Muichiro also displayed incredible control over his own movement speed with his obscuring clouds technique, which requires him to switch between extremely slow movements and blinding bursts of speed faster than the eye can see. Now moving on to the flashiest of them all, the flashy sound Hashira, Uzui Tengen. Tengen is the most eccentric and flashy Hashira, always wanting to be flamboyant, possessing the need for everything to be flashy and outstanding, even proclaiming that he is the god of flashiness and festivals. He also has little patience for those he considers plain and mundane, declaring that their lack of flamboyance is the source of their weakness. However, Tengen also has a caring side that is masked under his flamboyant facade, one he only shows to those that are extremely close to him, most notably his 3 wives, Makyu, Suma, and Hinaturu, who Tengen is shown to truly care for. Just like some other Hashiras mentioned earlier, the sound breathing style is a style that Tengen created himself. Sound breathing seemingly combines Tengen's heightened sense of hearing with his musical score technique, and also his shinobi expertise, as well as his dual naturing cleavers and also his anti-demon bombs. In terms of abilities, Tengen has greater tactical skills and sharper senses, especially his sense of hearing, which is similar to that of Zenitsu. As an advanced application of his hearing, Tengen also possesses echolocation. When trying to find the location of a battle on the ground, he analyzed the sounds reflected and resonated through the air by walls of the caverns, and accurately locates and is even able to guess the number of people inside the tunnels by listening to the sound bouncing off from their physical bodies. He has displayed incredible physical feats of strength and speed, being the second physically strongest Hashira in the current generation, as well as being the fastest runner out of all the Hashiras. So fast that he was able to effortlessly decapitate Daki without her even realizing it, to the point that he didn't even see her as an upper rank demon at all. Impressively, he was able to fend off the combined efforts of Daki and Gyutaro while being infected by a poison that would kill someone instantly under normal circumstances, even managing to protect bystanders in the same process. Before joining the Demon Slayer Corps and becoming a Hashira, Tengen was a ninja from a family of shinobi. Tengen received extremely harsh training that killed all of his siblings except for his younger brother, who became cold and heartless. However, as a result of his intensive shinobi training, Tengen possesses great technical skills in weaponry such as kunai and explosives. His training also made him extremely pain tolerant and poison resistant, which saved him from Gyutaro's poison and allowed him to fight despite suffering numerous injuries and losing his hand. Now moving on to the Hashira who is solely responsible for bringing Tanjiro into the fold, the water Hashira Tomioka Giyu. Giyu always wears a stoic and unbothered expression on his face. However, he has a reserved personality and a very strong sense of justice with no tolerance towards those who don't know their own limitations and throw their lives away. Despite letting Nezuko leave due to Tanjiro's persistence, he shows zero hesitation when killing other demons and has no respect or mercy towards them like most demon slayers. Even so, Giyu violated the Demon Slayer Corps' code of conduct without hesitation to protect Nezuko during Shinobu's attempt to kill her. So this implies that he is more pragmatic in dealing with demons rather than letting his hatred cloud his judgment. Giyu uses the water breathing style taught to him by the water Hashira before him, Sakonji Urokodaki. As the water Hashira, Giyu is his generation's most skilled water breathing user. He has completely mastered this swordsmanship style to the point that he created an entirely new technique within the breathing style. Later, he was able to easily defeat Ryui, the father spider demon, in his transformed state. He also possesses an undaunted and indomitable will, never giving up despite suffering numerous injuries against Akaza, one of the upper 5 demons, and later on the demon king Muzan. Akaza even states that he has not fought a water Hashira as skilled as Giyu in the last 50 years, even offering to turn him into a demon, which Giyu also refuses, obviously. Now, the second to last on the list is the winged Hashira, Shinazugawa Sanemi. The severely wounded Sanemi plays the rude and irate Hashira. He has nothing but rage against demons. This is shown as he does not feel sorry for either of the siblings when Tanjiro and Nezuko initially arrive at the headquarters. From the beginning, Sanemi and Tanjiro butted heads, literally, and are seen crossing each other as the series progresses. Even to his closest buddies, the spiky-haired Hashira is frequently unpleasant and condescending. However, Sanemi's cold, rude and dismissive behavior is the result of losing too many people he cared about in the past. When he scorns and tries to push his younger brother Genya out of the Demon Slayer core, Tanjiro can sense Sanemi doesn't truly hate Genya, his brother, and in fact still bore the same brotherly love he had for him in childhood. This was, however, never expressed outwardly as he tries to push Genya away so he wouldn't be exposed to danger. Sanemi is considered to be the most skilled wind-breathing user of his generation. His skill rivals that of Ginyu, the water Hashira, and he displayed his extraordinary abilities and proficiency in combat on multiple occasions. In the Infinity Castle arc, Sanemi was shown to be capable of annihilating dozens of demons comparable to lower rank demons in strength, and later could hold his own against upper rank one Kokushibo. Kokushibo also commented that Sanemi and Gyome are highly skilled even among the ranks of the Hashira. And finally, we move to the strongest Hashira in all of the Demon Slayer core, the Stone Hashira Himejima Gyome. Now, Gyome embodies the gentle giant archetype, being surprisingly soft-spoken and sensitive. He is also shown to be quite pious, carrying his prayer beads at all times and offering prayers in pregnant situations. Most notably, Gyome easily cries over the most insignificant things, accentuating his rather soft nature. He is also the leader of the Hashiras and is seen as a symbol of hope due to his immense strength. Unlike ordinary demon slayers who use swords in combat, Gyome uses a spiked flail and axe reminiscent of Kusarigama, a weapon consisting of a scythe and heavy iron weight connected by a metal chain, and does use a similar fighting style known as Kusarigama Jutsu. Gyome gained the rank of Hashira in a mere 2 months, and his natural abilities have been trained to their absolute peak. He was even able to put up a fight against the strongest upper rank for a brief time without using his Demon Slayer mark, further showing the extent of his skills, even while known to be blind. However, his superhuman sense of hearing is so acute that he can accurately discern and interact with his surroundings normally. At the peak of his superhuman hearing, Gyome is also able to accurately tell when someone is lying by detecting the slight changes of the sound his body makes. He is the 3rd fastest runner among the Hashira and was also capable of keeping up with the blistering movement speeds of the Demon King himself, Muzan, for a good portion of the final fight. Gyome's superhuman speed was also put on display during his fight against Kokushibo, where he was able to easily move his body around to avoid all of his attacks. The upper rank even remarking that the ease and grace with which he moved was too absurd to believe. Now, if you want to dive deeper into the Demon Slayer realm, click this next video breakdown of the upper 5 demons serving under the Demon King Muzan in the Demon Slayer realm.